Hi, in this video today, we're going to go over the practice problems of finding horizontal asymptote and vertical asymptote, which were page 95, 55 through 62. And a quick refresher, to find horizontal asymptotes, we prefer standard form, and we compare the degree of the numerator and denominator. If they both have the same degree, we divide the coefficients. If the numerator has a greater degree than the denominator, then there's no horizontal asymptote. If the numerator has a less degree than the denominator, then the x-axis, which has an equation of y equals 0, would be the horizontal asymptote. And a quick review about degree. If I have a constant, the degree of a constant is 0. It doesn't have any variable next to it. For example, x squared plus 1, the degree is 2. 3x plus 7, the degree is 1. So the degree is the highest exponent. When finding vertical asymptote, we prefer the factored form. So we take the denominator and we equal it to 0. If the denominator isn't in the factored form, then it's our job to factor. We get some values. Those values, we have to try them in the numerator as well. Because if they make both the numerator and denominator 0, then it's a whole. If they just make the denominator equal to 0, then this would be a value that makes a vertical asymptote. So let's start with number 55. F of x equal x divided by x minus 1. I look at the degree on the numerator and it's 1. Same degree on the denominator. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide those coefficients. So 1 divided by 1, and the horizontal asymptote will be always in the form y equals. Why? Because it's a horizontal line. And if you guys remember, y equals a constant is a horizontal line, and x equal a constant would be a vertical line. So always remember, it's a line, it's not a coordinate. So y equals 1 would be a horizontal asymptote for this function. Now, for vertical asymptote, I'm going to take the denominator, and since the denominator is linear, so there's no need for factoring, I'm going to equal it to 0, and I got this answer. And again, this is an equation of a line. This is not a coordinate. So x equal 1 would be the vertical asymptote, and y equals 1 would be the horizontal asymptote for number 55. For 56, very similar, same degree, I'll divide coefficients. Now I know y equals 1 is a horizontal asymptote. I'll take the denominator, which is just x, and I'll equal it to 0. And this is the vertical asymptote. And I should recognize this equation. This is an equation of the y-axis. And of course, every time you find horizontal and vertical asymptotes, you can graph those on Desmos and look at the graph closely and decide whether what you did is correct or not.